I will now call to order the Wytheville Town Council meeting, Monday, January 27, 2025 at 5 p.m., held in the Municipal Building at 150 East Monroe Street, Wytheville, Virginia. We do have a quorum. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Vice Mayor Candace.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next would be approval of the agenda. I will need a motion. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Right here, none. This would be a roll call vote. And we'll start with Councilman Hand.
Joseph Hand, aye.
Patterson, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Atkins, aye. Johnson, aye.
Next, there is availability for a recess if necessary. Next is the consent agenda, which consists of minutes of the work session of January 7th, 2025, and the minutes of the work session and the regular meeting of January 13th, 2025. I need a motion to accept as presented or somehow amended.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? That passes. Next on the agenda is citizens period. We do have a few people that would like to address council. And the first one I think is Danny G.
As to the rest of.
All right, so the next one that signed up is Miss Amanda Bentley. When you come up, if you just state your name and your address for the minutes, please.
Okay, my name is Amanda Bentley. Live on Grayson Turnpike. Do you need my whole address or? That's fine. Okay. So I came to talk about the master plan. I think the Wytheville Rec Center has been speaking to you all about and asking for funds for. I think we've got a $20,000 grant from what I understand with Josh Sherritt's, but we lack $30,000 to move forward with this plan. I think this is a huge thing. It's kind of what I made my son come and sit through this today when he's 7 years old, is because this is his future and his kids' future that we're talking about. As we make this master plan and create it, it might take 2 years and he might not ever see the benefits of it, but his kids and his grandkids hopefully will. And it creates a environment that this community and this town and this county can tell what we need. It's not one person making a decision. It's allowing a ton of input. I think it's very, very important. And it's only going to bring in more revenue if we have more trails to come to or more places to play ball at, tournaments. People are going out of this town constantly, going to Johnson City and all these different places to play and spend their money for food and spend their money for hotels. Well, why not let us have that revenue and take some more money in for the town? So I just really hope you guys can, find that in the budget this year. I think we've talked about it for several years. It'd be great to see it. I think it's a good time for it. It is a very steady pace at the Wytheville Rec Center right now. Sports are getting more involved. I think we're growing the sports. So I just really think it's important that we continue to do that. Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Bentley.
And next on the agenda is Mr. Kenny Sagers.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
As you
evening.
get older, you tend to forget things, so I had to write my little speech down. I'm here tonight to ask for your support to fund the master plan to improve and upgrade our outdoor fields and facilities for our youth sports programs. The town currently has 2 T-ball fields, the college fields, and the field at Scott Middle School. And these facilities are used for all outdoor youth sports programs. And the county will soon be building a new school at Scott Middle School, which will take our only lighted field that we have for 2 to 3 years. So we're going to have to find another place to play soccer and football, which that occurs during those seasons 3 to 4 nights a week. And as you can see, we are very much in need of more fields and improvements to the existing fields. And I hope that you will fund this master plan program and help make our facilities better for our youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gordon, we're coming back to you. Do you want to come up?
Go first.
He needs no pins. You know, recreation is like somebody at the table after you eat and they say, "Oh, yeah, we got dessert," and they didn't tell anybody. Because recreation is almost after the fact as far as thought goes. It took a lot of us 20 some years to get a new community center built, a recreation center. I fussed and wrote in the newspaper and did everything I could to push it because I knew we were going to need it. We had a downturn in kids that all of a sudden now we're starting to add kids upon kids and kids that want to be active. Now, as Mr. Sayers said, we're limited. In fact, we're limited in scope to our outdoor facilities based on the school system. If, heaven forbid, they'd ever get tired of us and say, you can't use our facilities no more, we'd be out of luck. Because when I was growing up, the town had facilities and the county and the schools were always using them. Now they all pretty well belong to the school system. So we need a plan. We need some money in place to get these things ready. My brother's assistant of recreation in town of city of Blacksburg. They just wrote his budget for $10 million. Now I know it's a bigger place and they're going to do a lot of fixing up fields and all. But that's what it takes is money and planning. And when they have springtime and summer, all he does on weekends is tournaments. Thousands and thousands of kids and their parents come to Blacksburg and Christiansburg and spend their money and enjoy being down there. It's like a separate arm of tourism. And we're letting that slide past. It happened at the Apex Center. I said all along they should have built the fields first because the county was going to build soccer fields and baseball fields, which we could be reaping the benefit from. But instead, they built the barn. But that's starting to show some benefits and assets. My grandson plays soccer, sandlot soccer. Never thought I'd see the day or that I would say that. So that we've got kids and we got people. I talked to a lady that came from Binghamton, New York, 2 weekends ago to watch the soccer game and to get one of my books. I don't know which was more important, but she came 8 hours driving for that event. If we got sports for their kids, the parents travel, and it's good money. It's easy money. It's money that people that are cooking hamburgers just cook a few more hamburgers. So it would be a benefit for years to come for everyone. And I would hope that you will give great consideration to this because we talk about our kids and they are the future. Well, they're the future, but they got to have something to do. And fortunately, my grandson likes to do soccer and football and basketball and everything, so he's not in front of the TV or he's not getting in trouble. At least I hope not. But we need to help our children. We need to help the parents. You know, I hear parents all the time, well, they say they're bored during the summer. Well, give them something not to be bored about, right? And the good things are sports, even if it's a shooting pool at the community center, playing ping pong. It's all good things. And we need to do those good things. We've got a beautiful downtown now. We got more businesses in there. Let's put some money in our kids and in our future, things that the county can't do and won't do. You know, these are type things that need to be town demonstrated programs. And I would hope that we would do. We got a great police department, fire department, all taking care of our homes. And thankfully, we don't have a lot of problems like some places do. But let's get our kids involved. You know, parents, sure, they can get them involved, but let's get our kids involved with town activities that we can be proud of. And this is a start. It's not like saying we're asking for $500,000. This is a start to get a plan put together and say, this is what we need, and this is when we'd like to complete it. And this, because right now, if you look around town, empty lots are becoming rare. So if you need some lots to put a football field or something on for kids to play, it's not going to be there in 10 years because they're building houses right and left and remodeling and doing all those things. So I would just implore you as a grandfather, as a father, and as a former person that spent a lot of time at these meetings for 40 years, let's do something for the kids. Even if it's just saying, we're going to take a penny off taxes and give them that every year. I don't know how you're going to do it, but please think about it, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
All right, so that's all we had that wanted to sign up and speak this evening. Next on the agenda is for council to consider a resolution setting forth the meeting dates, times, and place of the regular meetings of the Wytheville Town Council through December 31st, 2025. And Assistant Town Manager Elaine Holton will be here to answer any questions, or did you have anything specific to say? So I need consideration by Town Council to approve the resolution setting forth the meeting dates, times, and place of the regular meetings of the Wytheville Town Council through December 31st, 2025. I'll need a motion.
I move that we approve this resolution.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Do you have a question?
Well, I think I have to wait till she says
I'm
there's any
sorry.
discussion. I think I could be
Okay.
wrong.
I second.
I
it,
usually
Madam
So we have
Mayor.
motion and a second. Now, is there any discussion?
I wouldn't mind if maybe council would consider, I didn't know if we could look at maybe starting at 5:30 to try to catch some people maybe going home instead of waiting till 6. That's really not either here nor there. But I didn't know if there was something that council could consider meeting on the same week, like have a meeting tonight, and then we'd have a work session tomorrow, at whatever time. But instead of doing like a meeting, a work session, a meeting, a work session, and a meeting, a work session, didn't know if we could consider maybe doing that all in one week. Didn't know if anybody's thoughts, ideas. I do like having work sessions. I feel we're more informed. I really like that. I just didn't know if anybody else had some thoughts of maybe doing it in one week.
Well, I will bring up a thought that I recently had, was that this time of the year, we're doing budget as well. And the way we wanted to, I understood we wanted to separate that from other meetings. So that might be for the next several months, might have to have that other
Oh,
work
yes.
session in there just for budget.
No, I fully agree, but I was just wondering if we could have it like, then we meet tonight and then we'd have the budget and finance tomorrow at 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever time we decide.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is I'm thinking you need a regular work session because there's so much things that I think we're all wanting to talk about. And then we also need a budget session for with this next couple months. Because you're trying to cut it back to one, and since we had talked, that came up that we might not be able to get them both.
There's.
I
oh,
want
go-
to let me make sure I understand you right. So you're saying that we need, all right, we already meet on the 2nd and the 4th Monday. And we are having work sessions on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday. Am I correct? Yes, I am.
That's
The
the way
first and the
it is
third
now.
Tuesday, which is, that puts us meeting every single week. Okay. So what you're saying is now we have to add also a budget meeting
Well, I think
to,
what Holly was trying to do was cut it down.
no,
Yeah,
she
we're trying to
wasn't
wrap
cutting
it up.
it down. She was saying we would still have the number of meetings. I understood her. She said, instead of meeting like next Tuesday, can we meet tomorrow, which would be Tuesday? And then that following week, there would be no meeting. And then we would come back the next meeting, meet on Monday. Then we would meet again Tuesday for a work session. So, and what I understood you to say was we already are meeting for our council meetings. Then we have our work session, and then we need to have another meeting for budget and finance.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there to say that we may need to consider adding that. I know what she's trying to do and whatnot, and I'm agreeable to that. But what I'm saying, we need to leave ourselves some leverage to have some work sessions that are just for budget. So that would be if you've got 2 work sessions in a month, right? Then one would be for just daily stuff that we talk about, and then the other would have to be for budget. If everybody thinks you can do that, then that's fine. Without having 2 a month of the regular meetings for discussion of all the other things that are going on. I may not be making it clear. I think all of you're understanding what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well, I, I guess I'm interpreting it probably it would be Monday, Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday. Is that what you're
During
saying?
budget time. Well,
That's
So you're saying Monday, Tuesday, and then again the next Tuesday. I have ministerial duties, so I won't be able to meet. I can't chuck those duties on a Tuesday.
we'll do whatever y'all want to
Yeah,
do.
and
I just
when
wanted to
we
bring it
discussed
up that
this previously to be able to meet to do our work sessions, I thought we were going to do the work sessions on the first and the third Tuesday, and then um, we had our regular Monday night meeting. So I guess we do need to get some clarity on it.
so would that mean like 6 times a month? Is that right?
Yes, and that's how it was. We always met 6 times per month. And, I think it could be a challenge for us if we only meet twice per month for for a few. It's just not going to be enough time to talk about everything in 4 hours a month in work sessions. And I think what we would like to do is be more informed. So therefore, it's probably going to have to meet more to be more informed and if you meet, and we don't have to do this all the time, but the budget time is here and it's going to take a lot of time just on the budget without even being able to discuss different things that is going on with the town. So I think we need to meet. And some people can't come, or we can change that day. It doesn't have to be on a Tuesday. We could change that day. But I think we need to meet every week. And we don't have a full-time staff, so we need to be here when they start to sort of see what is going on with them. And so, I support, and I thought we had this discussion that we were going to do that. I'm sorry if I misunderstood. But we can decide this at the next work session if you want to. We don't have to decide tonight. So
Well,
we can have some more
originally
time
we
to talk
were
about it.
meeting every week because we were meeting on the first Tuesday. Then we met on the second Monday. Then we met on the third Tuesday. And then we are meeting on the fourth Monday. That's every week. We're meeting once a week, every
But
week.
this night is not for us to do an actual work session. This is for them, the public. So this is not
Exactly.
actually a work session for us.
So you want to have a work
We
session
well, I was
every
asking
week
for a work session,
plus,
at least until we get our feet on the ground. We have so many things that are starting to change, and it would be nice to be informed as much as possible. That's kind of where I was thinking
so
that
you want
might
to
serve.
meet on the second and the fourth Monday, our regular scheduled meetings. And then you want to meet 4 other times a week as well.
A month, you mean? Yeah, 4 other
Okay.
times a month. And that's the way it was done up until somebody changed it a few years back, but it was that way. And the whole, if you look back, it's been that way for some time. And I just don't know how we can be informed if we only meet a couple hours a month. We have a lot of information
We're
for
not
the
meeting
work
a couple
session.
hours a month. The,
The
the
work
last
session.
meetings that we've had, we've been here 8:30, almost 9 o'clock. So we're
Talking
not only
about we
meeting a
have
couple
a work
hours.
session.
And so,
And we also had that talk about how we can't, stay with that. That needs to be broken in half because that was just an extremely long night that I think we can do better than. But I think we should have this discussion in a work meeting where we can talk about it more if you want to.
Before we get too into it, this is where the meetings we're talking about
Right.
right,
opting right now.
I'm well aware. And it has
know,
our
my
regular
My
meetings
motion was
listed.
to approve this resolution about council
Meetings,
at
exactly.
6. And Ms. Atkins asked if we could start them at 5:30. Did I hear you correctly, Ms. Atkins?
I would like to consider that. if that's-
Okay.
if
All
that's
right, so
okay.
we need to take care of the motion on the table now
Right.
first.
Well, it has a motion and I've seconded
Yes.
it. Right. So I like it being at 6 o'clock so folks have time to get off work and get home, change. I mean, that's still not going to give them time to get here. And that was the whole point, was to let people have time to get here. So I think I would like to see it stay at 6 o'clock myself. So
Whatever.
All right, so we have a motion for at 6 o'clock is that correct? Motion and a second. For our regular meetings, these meetings to be at 6 o'clock. Is there any other discussion? This will also be a roll call vote. Start with Vice Mayor Johnson, please.
Johnson,
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
Joseph Hand, aye.
Unanimous. Would be a good place for us to discuss what Holly was wanting to do.
Can put it on the next.
Yes, ma'am. Fine.
Would be great. Thank you very much. Next in the agenda is consider an appointment to the Wytheville Recreation Commission to fill the expired term of Miss Glenda Lerno. Term expires December 31, 2024. I will need a motion. Or do you have anything to add to that?
And ma'am, there's just 2 application package to be considered. Madam Chairman, I'd like to nominate Meredith Jones Summers to the Recreation.
I have a motion, nomination. Do I have a second?
second.
Motion and a second. Is there any further?
Yes. I do have a question, and Ms. Gordon, perhaps you might be able to answer that. The other individual, Miss Moorhead, she is already serving as a part-time employee, correct? So would she be able to sit in and attend the meetings as a staff member? Could she sit in as a staff member?
Good. It would be, if she's sitting as an employee, she would be paid for the time that she.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hear none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As well, any opposed? Congratulations to Ms. Summers. Moving forward in the agenda. We're giving council some opportunity for further discussion regarding a proposed town council salary increase. Is anybody that wishes to speak towards that, this is an opportunity.
About the,
And so I'm not hearing anybody that wants to have any discussion with that, so we can move forward. That's okay.
I do have a question. When we consider the proposed salary increase, it has to be an ordinance written. So in that ordinance, do we need to, being that we are considered full-time, do we need to include in that ordinance that we receive the same benefits as full-time employees, that our town employees receive? We need to make sure that we have some clarity on that. As far as insurance, there was discussion about that, but there was never any clarity. So we need to make sure when we do this ordinance that we have everything proper and in order,
Like me.
please.
Um, yes, under the code section that I shared with you when we were discussing this, you have to set your compensation. Compensation includes both salary and benefit. So if you're wanting to address benefits and provide benefits, it should be addressed in. So we need to put it in there.
Okay. So do we need to make a separate motion or can it all be together? If we're going to add benefits to it,
Yeah, so your motion, I
we
think, is to
already,
directing staff to prepare your ordinance for you, and I know Ms. Corbin's been working on that and set your public hearing. So if you're wanting to add that into it, I think it needs to be added because it wasn't in the last, that the benefits were not addressed in the last motion that you did, addressing it, telling us to prepare the ordinance.
yes, I think so too. We need to add the benefits as well to that, so that there's clarity due to the recent issue that we addressed in our work session.
I'm in agreement.
And
What besides the health insurance?
the
The only
what?
one I think it would be that, right, Corbin, I'm not aware of any other. That's the only one I'm aware of.
Health benefit.
Mhm.
So you would, yes,
And at what rate, excuse me, it would need to say at what rate they're the
Yes, we
same
do.
as the
It's
full-time
at what the
employee.
employees
You're right,
receive it
it'd
at.
just be the same as the full-time employee gets. Whatever
you'll
that
need a
is.
motion to add that to the ordinance. That's what you want to do.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to add that to the ordinance.
So we have a motion to add it to the ordinance. Do we have a second?
I thought you did a second. Did you do a second?
No, I do not.
Okay.
She did.
That's where we're at. So we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Now, is there any further dialogue or understanding or anything of what we're doing?
Just, I want to just, it needs to be clear that due to being given the wrong information to start with, there was nothing in writing. This is why we're adding that to the ordinance, because there was never anything in writing as to what should have been paid, how it should have been paid. And was very disappointed to find out that it was just because someone said, and that's not how it should have been. And to know that that was okay, and it's not okay. So that I just need it. We need to put forth the guidelines or set forth the guidelines that need to be followed, so that someone is just not saying, "Well, this is what you pay." it needs to be in writing what people are supposed to pay, what the employees are supposed to pay. Because just because somebody said doesn't make it right.
Everybody's all in agreement.
Mr. Castle, does that mean like going forth from now on, like if the employees get like a 3% raise, that's just for
No,
the health?
ma'am.
Okay, I just,
The way you set your pay was the specific increase. So it'll be a fixed, then the health insurance will be provided at the way the motion currently states, it will be provided at the same as it is given to employees.
okay,
So whatever gets done with employees will be offered to council people at their discretion to take or not.
thank you.
Any other questions, concerns? All right, so we have a motion. I read that back to us.
Yes, ma'am. The motion is that the ordinance would be amended to include that the health insurance benefits would be offered to the town council at the same rate as the full-time town staff, and that it would be offered to the council to take or not take at their discretion.
So, any other discussion? We don't include this into. No further discussion. This will be a roll call vote.
Joseph Hand, aye.
Patterson, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Johnson,
Thank you all. So next on the agenda is the continuation of that. We have a for the town clerk's been authorizing the town staff to prepare ordinance, which we just set, and a public hearing to consider the proposal for the salary increases, and that public hearing will be February 24, 2025. I'll need a motion.
so moved.
I have a motion for the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Here none. Let's do a roll call vote with that too. Vice Mayor
Johnson,
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
Joseph Hand, aye.
Well is next on the agenda is upcoming meetings, and Town Clerk Sherry Corbin will share those with us.
Madam Mayor, I have just a few, please. There'll be a special meeting of the Wytheville Town Council on Friday, January 31st at 3 p.m. at the Wytheville Meeting Center. There's also a special meeting of the Town Council to be held on Monday, February the 3rd at 5 p.m. at the Wytheville Meeting Center, and both of those will be closed meetings. There's a council work session to be held on Monday, February 4th at 4 p.m. in the council conference room. And the last is the next regular scheduled meeting of the Wytheville Town Council will be held on Monday, February 10th at 6 p.m. here in the council chamber. That's all I have.
Thank you. The other business, discussion regarding possibly changing the due date for real property and personnel property taxes. And we have Angela Pennington here to discuss that with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, good evening, everyone. So Virginia Code Section 58.1-3916 states that the governing body may also by ordinance establish due dates for payment of local taxes. So you all picked the March 5th due date for this year, and that will work fine for the treasurer's office if you all want to stick with that date. Best case scenario, we will receive the tax files from the Commissioner of Revenue in September, and taxes will be posted and ready for payment sometime in October. The past few years, taxes have been delayed due to various reasons, and there's no guarantees that issues won't arise again this year, but every effort possible will be made to get taxes out in a timely manner so taxpayers can make payments by the end of the year for tax deductions if needed, and prepayments can be made by taxpayers anytime during the year. whichever date you all want to choose. Yes.
I think what we're is make a motion to how you want this packaged.
Okay, so, do you think well, I know the past couple of years it's been a holdup. And so, in past years, when there was not a holdup, was there ever a time where people were struggling to come in and pay in December?
Um, Not that I haven't really noticed. I'm sure I know it puts a burden on taxpayers having it in December because of Christmas stuff in in December. But you didn't really hear a whole lot of that. But I mean, I know it is a burden in that time. It's understandable. But we've had the due date January 31st, a couple years for taxes. I think last year, maybe real estate was due on the 5th and personal property was extended to the end of January. So it was split up a little bit like that. Whatever you all want to do will work.
I know before, I know when I think Mr. Stevens was here, I had questioned about maybe changing the date overall for the town citizens, because I know when I worked treasurer many moons ago, that was always a concern of the citizens is, could we change the date? Could we change the date? And I think that we had talked about it a little bit before, and I wouldn't mind seeing from here going forward to try to do a date better for the citizens. I didn't realize we could do that, but if we can, I would like to see it better benefit our citizens, because we do have Christmas, the holidays, people traveling, and I know sometimes people get bonus checks for Christmas, but I didn't know if the council would consider changing the date from going forward to a different date. If we could consider looking at that.
This year it's March
It.
5th. That might be,
To go set forward.
well, it's just a thought. It's far enough out from the early spring time to get some tax money. Maybe.
I was thinking March 15th, so March 5th,
Sure,
15th,
whichever
somewhere.
way.
I think that would be somewhere in March. I think we could come. I think all of us could possibly. I'm just speaking my opinion that we could all work together to come up with a date, maybe in March, to give the citizens time and definitely give them a break around the holidays, because holidays can be a tough time, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally, emotionally. It's the holidays are just stressful.
We don't have to pick that time tonight. I mean, it's not on here for, an item for that we were. So if we want to have some more dialogue before next shelves, that and then
But March, you all think's a pretty good month.
I think so.
Yeah.
Would that be for
Is that okay with
Yeah,
you?
you make a good point that they'll start getting their tax returns.
Andrew, can you
Refunds
speak
and
up a little bit? Or
they'll start getting their tax refunds coming in too, so
Right.
that'll be extra money maybe to pay their taxes.
So March would be a great month. We just need to decide, council need to
Yeah.
decide on a date.
Mhm.
Do you have a suggested date, Mayor Taylor?
No, I'm just saying that it's
Yeah.
not on the agenda that we have to vote on it tonight.
Oh, no,
So
I'm just,
we can, whatever y'all want.
I've got a question from Ms. Pennington.
Yes, ma'am.
Financially, we're accustomed to getting our money in December.
Mhm.
How is this going to affect our books and going forward with our programs and our services that we offer? Do you foresee a problem?
I think we've got a good enough cash flow throughout the year that, I mean, it'll definitely drag out the cash flow from taxes till later in the year. Some people are still paying before the end of the year for, tax purposes and tax deductions, but we've only got a small percentage that has come in so far for revenue for taxes. So It's
As long as
definitely,
you don't think it's going to be a problem financially for this town for delaying, I'm all for March 5th.
yeah, I'll gather more information just to see if we've got any big ticket items going out in that time frame and see.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ms.
no problem.
Pennington.
Thank you very much.
Our next on the agenda is review of upcoming vacancies on town committees, boards, and authorities. Ms. Corbin, if you'll chat with us.
Okay, there's a couple on here that we, as you can see, we have some current vacancies, but also the boards that either have current vacancies or will this year. On the Board of Zoning Appeals, we have one current vacancy, and then we have one that will be coming up, or two that'll be coming up this year. The current members are eligible for reappointment, but people are always welcome to apply. We'll have one on the Building and Code Appeals, one in the Planning Commission, and that member is not eligible for reappointment. We have two now on the Recreation Commission. One is a youth member, so if you know any youth members that would like to apply. And then we have the Wytheville Economic Development Authority. We have one current opening on that. We'll have two more in the coming year, but those are eligible for reappointment. And we have three on the Wytheville Redevelopment Housing Authority that will be eligible this year. One is eligible for reappointment and one isn't. Two are eligible for it and one isn't. And then we have one opening right now on the Wytheville Tree Committee. So if you know anybody that would like to apply, they can apply online, the town's website, at the OpenGov portal.
Next on the agenda would be a council member time. Start with Vice Mayor Johnson.
Currently, I don't have anything.
Yes, I was wondering maybe if we can get some information. I know Mr. Moore wasn't here, but I know the prior town manager was going to speak on trying to maybe do a combo, maybe shelter for, talk to Mr. Bear about looking at the land. There was some type of discussion that Mr. Freeman was going to have with the county, and I didn't know if we could get an update on that and just have some dialogue about that. Either do like a combo shelter. I don't know where that was left off at, even though we've talked about it. So didn't know, and I know you wouldn't probably have an answer, but is there any way that maybe we could get an update on that, maybe in a work session, maybe next work session if possible? Thank you. That's it.
And I don't have anything. I'll pass.
I don't have anything at this time either.
And I don't have anything just.
Right. If there's nothing else to come there before council, would now like to go into closed session, closed meeting pursuant to 2.2-3711 A1, discussion regarding the town manager's position and the performance of appointed employees. Need a motion?
So moved.
Okay.
Second it, Madam Mayor.
Second. Motion and second, okay. Motion and second, is there any discussion? I hear none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. We are now going to closed session. Thank you. Ready? Now that discussion has concluded on this matter, we are reconvened in open session. And we will go ahead and take a roll call vote to certify to the best of our knowledge that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meetings requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public businesses matters as well identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting. I'll need a motion.
So moved.
And a second.
I second it, Madam Mayor.
I think they both.
Oh, you both?
They had both already
Third
got
it.
it. All right, so we have a motion and a second, right? Is there any further discussion before we close that meeting? Right. Hearing none, there's going to be a roll call vote.
Johnson, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Edison, aye.
Joseph Hand, aye.
All right, we are now in open session. Anything that needs to come before council? All right, we are adjourned.